Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Aurogiri. The topic of this episode is Miyamoto Musashi once again. For those that aren't aware who Miyamoto is, or Maya, or Mia for short, she is the Vanguard character we currently have access to on PS4, but she's extremely difficult and costly to obtain. So there's my Miyamoto Musashi. Miyamoto, you know, mine's level 100, 5 scrolls, like full power, balls to the wall, she's done. So, you know, what we're talking about today is we're talking about the edit skills and stuff like that. So we can just go to her profile for now. But, you know, so we're going to be talking about these skills, but quickly before that, I'm going to address something that a lot of players don't realize about Miyamoto Musashi, and it's sort of a fatal mistake. So let's say you're a really lucky player and you got like 3 scrolls one time you put in $50 or something, right? Well, what some people do is they'll put all 3 scrolls in right away, and that's actually detrimental to Miyamoto's growth. But it's nothing permanent or anything. It's just, you know, it's better saved for last. What I'm trying to say is, to level up Miyamoto Musashi, you gotta feed her weapons. And since she's like a sword aholic, she really likes swords. So you can feed her like swords and she gains more experience than she would non-swords. And rarity of the sword matters. So if you feed her a white sword from like Kishinden, it's like, okay, whatever, it's a sword. And then if you feed her like a blue sword from somewhere, a red sword, and then a gold sword, it's gonna have greater results based on the rarity of the weapon. So what I'm trying to say is, when you get Miyamoto, and if you're planning on having multiple scrolls, because some people just happen upon Miyamoto, they just get a gacha ticket, and it's like, oh, I got one, awesome. So essentially, what we're doing here, or what you want to do, is you put your first scroll in, that unlocks her. Then in my personal experience, you want to just farm the heck out of Echigo Estate, or, you know, any place that gives you gold swords. And Echigo Estate, I know, gives you the Kogarasu Maru. And you could use Kogarasu Marus to get her to 50, no problem. So once you get her to 50, once she's in that range, it takes a long time to level her up via weapons. But however, every time you give a second scroll, it instantly adds like 10 levels regardless of the level requirement. So for me, since I only had 4 scrolls at a time, I got Miyamoto to about, or no, I had 3 extra scrolls, so I had like 4 to the 5, and I was trying to get to 70. And then for those that have watched my videos about Miyamoto and stuff, they're kind of funny. You know, I got the last one from the money occupation thing. I had like a couple of SP gotchas, so I rolled those, or not money occupation, money campaign, I'm sorry. And I was trying to get her to 70 so I could use my last 3 scrolls to automatically jump her to 100. And then I got the 4th and I did it at 65. But that's what I'm trying to say, is that if you can get Miyamoto, you have to get Miyamoto to 60, right? So once you put your first scroll into activator, obviously, then you get her to level 60. Once Miyamoto is level 60, assuming you had all other scrolls you needed, that's when you just pop all the scrolls in and she will automatically jump to 100. A lot of people just pop all 4 scrolls in, she goes to 40, and they're going to have a heck of a hard time leveling her up. So, and actually, it's very annoying. It could take you thousands of weapons at that point. But that's the, because it's very, like, it's a little tidbit that not a lot of people know, but it's a really good lifesaver, a good life hack. So, if you just get a new Miyamoto, put the first scroll in, then power level her with some Kogarasu Marus. I found they were the best. They're a they're a gold symbol identifiable weapon from Echigo Estate, and she loves them to death, and she will eat them all, and she'll level very quickly. So feed her those till she's 60. Then if you plan on getting more scrolls, you know, just keep slamming the scrolls into her. So that said, we're going to get to the actual topic of this video. I said I was going to do this video a long time ago, and then I forgot about it, so I apologize for those I told that I'd make a video explaining these skills. So, you know, we're going to start, because when I first got Miyamoto, I didn't want to try swapping and doing skills like that, because you only have a limited number of swaps, and there's so many skills and so many combinations. We want to try and get it right the first time. And then later on, you still have swaps for interpretation and things you need. So, this is just a template, but I feel it's a good template. So for my first weapon, I have 4 weapons because I have 4 scrolls, or 5 scrolls. So that's how that's going to work. If you only have 1 scroll, you're only going to get 1 weapon, and your moveset's probably going to be different than what I'm doing. Since I have like 12, or I have a total of like 5 times 4, 20 skills to work with here. So on my first sword, I have Heavenly Flash of Retribution 7, and then 6, and then Soul Binding 7. So I think this is the best skill moveset for her on your like first standard weapon. So Retribution is the pink fang blade. It's like Getsuga Tensho. She fires it out and it just mows down a bunch of enemies. I think that's like her staple skill. You want to have at least 2 or 3 of them on one weapon, but I wouldn't touch the 5. I'd only do 7, 6, and then Soul Binding. That's what I like to do. My setup is I want the range, I want the Flash of Retribution. Like what I'll do is I'll go Flash of Retribution, then Soul Binding. Now Soul Binding is very useful for single target. Very, very useful. And then lastly, I have 2 Eternal Wars on my first weapon. So Eternal War 6 and 7. We're not going to touch any 5s. For this video, no 5 skills will be used. So, and if you don't have 5s right away, you just got to level her up and you'll get access, or not 5s, I mean 6s and 7s. If you don't have your 7s right away, just continue to level her and they'll get unlocked over time. So, now, Miamoto does have another skill that I won't be using in this video, and apparently it's really good, but on PS4 it does not work. For most players, this Blossom War. Blossom War is this combo attack Miamoto has, but for some reason, no matter how hard you hold down the L1 button or whatever, it never comes out. Apparently it does an insane amount of single target damage. However, it doesn't work and we only get like 3 hits off and then it just messes up. So in that regard, it's not good to have it. So for the time being, until maybe they patch Miyamoto or something, we can't use Blossom War. So don't waste your swaps on it. So that said, just my first weapon, I like to have 2 Heavenly Flash Retribution and then Soul Binding and then double Eternal War. Eternal War is like her best Ogi. You just it's like Thunder Beast plus Fusion Circle Dance, and you just mow down a million enemies. Like it makes Juncture like your plaything. It's really awesome. So that's what I got in my first weapon. Now my second weapon is basically the same thing. It's Flash Retribution 6, Flash Retribution 7, and Soul Binding. So it's the same 3 skills. The flashes are in different orders, but that's whatever. And then here I have Ogi Death from the Heavens, Ogi Death from the Heavens. Ogi Death from the Heavens is the big combo Ogi she has when you first get her. It's very good for single target on an enemy that doesn't really move around a lot. You just beat them up for a lot of damage. It's very good. I think when you first get Miyamoto, she has Lightning Slash, Crimson Slash, Flash of Retribution, and then she has, 1 Death from the Heavens 5 and Eternal War 5, just to give you a taste. So basically what we do with the first weapons is we divide that 1 weapon in 2. So you have 1 weapon with double Flash and Soul Binding and then double Eternal War, because that's awesome. And then the next one has double Death from the Heavens, same moveset. So that's what I like to do for my first 2 weapons. On the third weapon, you can play around a bit more. Now ultimately, on all 4 weapons, I have Heavenly Flash Retribution 7. So on the third weapon, I have Retribution 7, Collapsing Blade 7, Double Edge Cut 7, Eternal War, and Crimson Flame Blast Smash 7. So ultimately your third weapon is going to be the weapon you want to play around with, in my opinion. I think Retribution should be there. Collapsing Blade, since Miyamoto does not have durability on her weapons, they cannot break. Collapsing Blade is a very high skill force move, and Darkness Element is very rare. The only really good most Darkness moves are Collapsing Blade, and that will destroy your weapon. So, and it's one of the most highest hitting skill force moves in the game. So to give her Collapsing Blade 7 is very good. Once you level it up to 70, it will hit a truck, like an Optimus Prime truck just beating something up. Collapsing Blade is really good in that regard. And then I have Double Edge Cut 7, and right now Double Edge Cut 7 only hits for half of its potential damage because it's a sword move. But eventually it's going to get a buff, bringing it to a 3 times multiplier of damage on sword. So I think that, you know, if ever Miyamoto's low on health, I can just beat out a Double Edge Cut for a crap ton of damage. You know, I have to level it. It might not be the best choice, but I thought it'd be interesting. And then I said I have another Eternal War, and that comes in handy. Having a third Eternal War is very useful. And it, you know, it has invincibility frames and all that stuff. So all of Miyamoto's moves do have invincibility frames, and all her normal moves do not. So when I use Collapsing Blade, I have to really know that it's like, okay, I'm not invincible for this one attack. Same thing with Double Edge Cut. But, you know, Collapsing Blade has proven to do a lot of damage on enemies weak to darkness. And an Oshu element is everything. It's very helpful. And then I have Crimson Flame Blast Smash because, apart from my Embus having Crimson Crosscut, I don't have access to fire normally. So I thought it'd be very good to have it. You know, it's Crimson Flame Blast Smash 7. It's not even 6. And, you know, I use it sometimes, like, let's say I don't know. Like, it comes in handy, but it's not my go-to move. It's just like an extra move I want to have just in case something is weak to fire and my other moves aren't really hurting it. And it's a lot less SP than her moves. It's like 145. It's really good in that regard. And then lastly, the fourth weapon is going to be very important because she has Oogis that aren't offensive Oogis. Hence, Sheltering, Scroll of Sheltering, and Scroll of Aggression. These are buff moves that are very useful. So, and then lastly, I have another Retribution 7. I have Holy Empty Sky / 7, and then I have a Strike of Soul Binding 7 again. So, Soul Binding and Flash, basically staple, very awesome moves to have. And now I have Holy Empty Sky / 7 here for the same reason. What was it? Something else? Double Edge Cut. So, it's a holy move, right? And Holy Empty Sky / 7, when we get this balance patch I'm talking about in the future, this move gets a skyrocketed buff to damage. And as a holy move from Miyamoto, it will do a crap ton of damage. So I want to put that on. Hi, Rhyme. Oh, I saw you subscribed, Rhyme. Thanks for that, bud. That's awesome. Good to see you back. But I put Holy Empty Sky / 7 on here, like, for the future. It's not very good right now, but when it gets that damage buff, it will be very, very good, my friends tell me. So I got that on my fourth weapon, just as an extra skill. Because at the end of the day, you know, Soul Binding and Retribution are really good, and that's just an extra skill to have. That's good. Now, Sheltering and Aggression. You're welcome, man. You're welcome too, Rhyme. So, most players like to have their staff on their fourth slot. So when I'm playing, I have my Maximilian Star on the bottom, and that has my Rapid Storm and my buff skills and stuff. So same principle applies to Miyamoto. Now some players might want their buff skills on their first weapon, because every time you switch to Miyamoto, it does not remember what weapon you're on or what skill you're on. Like it normally does that with your character, but it won't do it with her. And I assume that's going to be the same for all Vanguards. In that regard, you know, if you want to have... Because a lot of people forget to cast Sheltering and Aggression. Some people say, well, I want to maybe have it in my first slot. Me, I like to be able to switch to Miyamoto in Eternal War of the World. So, that's me. But ultimately, on your fourth weapon... Or, honestly, it's wherever you're comfortable having your staff. Personally, I think only the first slot or fourth slot are good, but... You know, I like fourth slot because as soon as I switch to her, I just hit up on the D-pad and I'm there. So it's one touch and I'm there. So Scroll of Sheltering and Aggression are very good moves. So Sheltering is it's meditation and a defense buff to all you and all your teammates. It's about 30 invigorate, so like a 30 meditation to all your teammates, and it's it buffs their defense and stuff. Very good move. Then we have Aggression. Aggression is like a pink little, it's the same little buff wave, same radius. So basically you cast them both, but don't cast them too quick, because if you cast Sheltering and then quickly cast Aggression or vice versa, those moves have invincibility frames for Miyamoto. And if your timing is like too quick, and I do this a lot, The invincibility frame will trigger the same second meditation is supposed to trigger, and it will completely miss you. So when you're using them, don't mash them. Go 1, let it resolve. 2, let it resolve. So that's a quick little pro tip there to know. So now she has another move I've never used. What's the guest one? Oh, the guest partners. Those are like extra partners. I don't really know. We don't have any guests yet. I'm not going to click on it because I'm still in this menu. But we don't have any guests yet. On the wiki, I'm told there's some other partner we get in Onigashima later. And she goes into the guest category. Or maybe that's where the Lunastasia and Cosmic League Vanguards go. I don't know. I think they'd go in special. But I'm not entirely sure what goes into guests. I think if anything, it's that one extra party member you can get or something. But we'll find out eventually because we don't have them yet on our side. On the English PS4 server. So if we go down to her Ogis. Oh right, I was really curious. That's fine. So in her Ogis, she has Crimson Flame Blast Smash 5 through 7, Death from the Heavens 5 through 7, and Eternal War 5 through 7. Then we have Scroll of Sheltering, Scroll of Aggression, Scroll of Skill. Now, I have no idea what Scroll of Skill is. Usually people only use Sheltering and Aggression, but I don't really know what Scroll of Skill is. But Aggression, because I didn't explain it, Aggression will increase someone's critical... It's either critical or critical force. It increases one of them by like 50%. And then it increases... And it's also a strike boost of damage. I think it's like... It's really... Like, I don't know what it is, but my friend, King Cannon, he has a 57 Invigorate on his Oni Mace. And last night we were fighting Gargoyle. And I used Aggression on him first. I said, here, let me use Aggression, then you can Invig me. Then I'll Invig everyone else. And we did that, and his Invigorate went from 57 to 60 under the effects of Aggression. So that means he gained at least 3,000 attack with that Aggression. So that's pretty huge. To put that in perspective. That's really huge. So, now, I'm going to look up Scroll of Skill right now on the internet, see if I can get anything of it. So I'm going to type in Ogi Heavenly Void. Okay. What, there's a video on the wiki? I don't want to watch a video. It's just the skill. Okay. Alright, I'm going to try and find out if we can find out anything about her. Heavenly Void, Scroll of Skill. Apparently there's a forum about calling her Nikubenki? I don't know. From Tentacle, okay. Okay, so Tentacle actually has a guide online of how to do Miamoto. It's saying a lot of similar things. I asked yesterday but didn't hear you, but I have seen people with dragon wings and I can't seem to find... Oh! Rhyme, are you a boy or a girl in the game? Just a quick question. Are you male or female? Like your character. You're a girl. Okay. So, right after... Oh, okay. So Omniwa says that Scroll of Skill increases attack speed and range. Yeah, it's not really that important. So, that's what that does. I'm just gonna see what else Tentacle says here. Tentacle actually puts Sheltering and Aggression on his first weapon, and apparently on PC uh, Blossom War works because he had a picture of it. So I'm just reading in case you guys are wondering why I'm quiet. Now, Rhyme, once I'm done doing Miamoto, I'll take 3 seconds and show you how to get Dragon Wings, okay? So don't let me forget, because it'll just take a couple seconds. I just want to do it after. No, you're not gonna find. No, they're gonna cost you money, Rhyme. They're like a DLC costume, if you want to call it that. Okay. Okay, so Scroll of Skill is attack, speed, and weapon range. So honestly, it's not that important. So Scroll of Sheltering and Aggression are the truly most important ones. So just to recap, my first weapon has Retribution, Soul Binding, Eternal War. Now let's say tomorrow, like, you know, I'll just keep reviewing. So Retribution, Soul Binding, Death from the Heavens. And then this one has Retribution, Collapsing Blade, Double Edge, Eternal War, and Crimson Flame Blast Smash. And then Retribution 7, Holy Empty Sky Slash 7, Soul Binding 7, Sheltering, and Aggression. So that's how I set up my skills. Obviously everyone has different interpretations and different movesets they want to do. That's fine. Ultimately, I think so far, having 3 Eternal Wars, you know, I have a third one down here, has been very useful for me. So basically how I, like, just in a general sense of how I play Miyamoto, my first weapon is I'm ready for anything. Eternal War is the Ogi, or it's just, I'm going to go beat up that thing, it's a mob, I'm going to hit it, get in, get out. You know, my first sword, I'm ready for anything that comes my way. The second one is just, okay, I'm fighting one single thing, I'm going to hit it with Death from the Heavens. And then my third weapon is, okay, I'm fighting something different. I need Collapsing Blade, or maybe Crimson. Maybe that's what I'll need, or Eternal War, just in case, you know. And then the fourth one is buff everyone and do damage, you know. Because cooldown is the thing, and she can't drink Chidori or any alcohols, right? So that's why it pays to have 2 weapons with Eternal War, in my mind. Now, some people, they don't even touch Crimson Flame Blast Smash 7. You don't have to. Some people, what they like to do is they like to do, you know, they might go like the same weapon, the first one like me, the second one like me, and then a third one they'll have Eternal War and Death from the Heavens. Or they might just have 2 weapons with like double Eternal War because it's just that good. If you can corner a boss and hit it with like 4 Eternal Wars, because I'm pretty sure if you did 2, then did another 2, you could go back to the old weapon and they'd be refreshed, assuming with the SP, you could just keep going. But, you know, it's all, like, I know the people are, like, worried, like, oh, I only have so many swaps, I don't want to mess this up. I totally get that, and that makes sense. So, you know, this is just a template. This is what I do. It doesn't have to be what you do, but I can assure you that if you did something similar to me, you would not be up the creek without a paddle, should we say. So, you know, like, I'm just trying to help people out. Because people kept asking me, what do I do for skills? What do I do? And I'm like, oh, I should just make a video for this. So, you know. And you guys feel free to pause at any time during the video and just be like, hey, Let me look at that weapon. So, and if you guys want, I could just maybe write down my moveset for each weapon in the description, but honestly, it's just, they're all here. They're all here. But let's just review all the skills she can have. So, the normal, she gets all the sword skills. So she's got Empty Sky Slash, Sacred Strike, Double Edge Cut, Crimson 7, Duststorm Blast, Lightning Slash, Collapsing Blade, Icicle Massacre, Tornado Drop. So, I mean, Tornado Drop's interesting, but I wouldn't prioritize it. I know it has a lot of stun. It can, but which gargoyle is weak to wind? Are any of them weak to wind? Oh, Levin Lance is weak to wind. So Levin Lance might, like, I mean, if you want to use your swaps, I mean, it's up to you. Apparently they only cost 1 OC to replenish each swap, so, but like, I don't know. Like, let's say you want to fight Levin Lance, you want to have that tornado drop. But honestly, I don't think it's that important, because Eternal War is wind anyway, so I wouldn't bother with tornado drop. Some people like to do Icicle Massacre. Icicle Massacre will receive a huge buff later on, so it might so happen that I might change Double Edge Cut for Icicle Massacre. I don't know. It depends how the difference in damage between the patched updated Double Edge Cut and Icicle Massacre, because Ice Element might be useful to have as well. You know, there's lots of different things, but generally you're gonna want her skills over normal sword skills. But I think Collapsing Blade, Holy Empty Sky Slash, and Double Edge Cut are exceptions to the rule. They are very powerful skills, exceptional skills. And then for Ogies, you know, Eternal War, double Eternal War on something, double Death in the Heavens on something, and then, you know, your third one up for interpretation, I recommend Eternal War again, and then you're going to have Sheltering and Aggression. I wouldn't even bother with the skill one, just because it's just attack range and it's attack speed. You already have invincibility frames. If you learn to time those right, like, you're just gonna learn that anyway. So yeah, so that took a little longer than I wanted to, but you know, at least I got the message delivered. It's pretty repetitive video, 30 minutes just explaining it, but I mean, at least it's there. You know, at least it's not just one video where I say everything once, we're done in 5 minutes, and I leave, and people are like, oh, I gotta rewatch this damn thing 3 times. At least this time I go through it multiple times. That's just my approach to it. I'm a bit of a scatterbrain when it comes to these things, but at least the information is there. Now for Rhyme, you asked me how to get Dragon Wings. So if we go to our shopping plaza, you head to the Neon Koro Pond, and in the Neon Koro Pond you will see Dragon Wings right here. So the dragon costumes. So in order to get dragon costumes, you're going to need to roll this Neon Koropan gacha thing. So for that, you're going to need either an SP gacha ticket, or you're going to need to put some money in the game. So it's 160 OC to roll it 5 times. I always recommend rolling it 5 times instead of rolling it 1 time. Now, some people might say, oh, well, but you have better odds to get certain things if you roll once, like Miamoto, let's say. But I don't know. It took me about $200 worth of OC to get 5 Miyamoto scrolls. And a lot of people watching this video will be like, oh, I want Miyamoto, and they might not know. That's just the reality of it. On average, players will spend between... now, some people got it in $50. That's crazy. But some players that have spent in between $100 to $300, almost $400 for her. And she will be leaving the Nyankoro Pond at the end of this month, I believe, because the gacha tickets, the SP gachas are going away too. So I believe Miyamoto Musashi, if you want her, you only have like, I think, you know, a little over a week to try and roll for her. And I can buy, and I can't buy as I'm not in the US. Oh. Well, you get gacha tickets from... if you can't buy anything, then I don't think you'll be able to get wings, because they only come from SP gachas. You know, how do you get gacha tickets? So, now there's the Dagger's Peak, and if you did Dagger's Peak, you just do it religiously, just do it until you get all the weapons that Miyamoto wants. The first one you do, she'll give you a normal SP gacha, and you can roll that. And then I think if you complete the 5th quest, you get an extra SP gacha. But she is like pay exclusive unless you get that gacha ticket and get lucky. Alternatively, there is a quest in Sekigahara where you can talk to Sarutobi Sasuke. They're right outside the highway to get to Kaga. And if you do their quest, you just beat the mission, they'll give you an SP gacha and you can roll that as well. But unless you're willing to put money in the game, like actually a lot, I wouldn't get your hopes up on getting a Miyamoto Musashi or Dragon Wings, because they're exclusive to the SP gacha thing. So, you know, you say you're not in the US, so I assume North America, so you can't put funds in the game. Therefore, you can't really get Dragon Wings. But I know later on there will be more Dragon Wings. They might bring the set back. I don't know. But, you know. But if, like, you said you can't get gacha, you asked how to get gacha tickets. Like, these are SP gachas, and the only way to get those is either you put money in the game for the money campaign, or you do the Sarutobi Sasuke or Miyamoto side quests. And in the end, that's only like 3 tickets anyway. So, you know. The people who have Dragon Wings, excuse my yawning, they put money in the game. I didn't mean to burst your bubble like this, Rhyme, because you're all happy and then you're like, oh dang. Can't put money in the game. Can't get wings. Oh no. But with normal gacha tickets, you can, you know, you'd be able to roll for the kitty cat costume, the butterfly costume, the bunny costume, and the squirrel costume? Well, I'm screwed. But, yeah. I mean, if you can't roll in one, I'd recommend rolling in 2, just so that you had a chance of getting the Ugi skill card set 6, which is Geki, which is really strong skills. Either that or 3, because you get Ugi skill card set 3 potentially. But as you say, you can't put money in the game, so I should stop really, you know, advertising these things. On Xbox, the outfits are different. Yeah, they are. They are, because we are 1 update ahead of Xbox. Now, Omniwa says you can buy PSN cards offline and use them. AKA PCGamesupply.com will sell US PSN cards for other currency. So apparently you can do that. You could go online and order an American or a North American PSN card, have it delivered to you. And I know some websites like Amazon, I think if you buy a PSN card, they just email you the code. And then once they like scratch the code, they give you the code, you put the code in your PSN and you get the money. That's another method that I know of. But yeah, you heard about that, yeah. Yeah, but Xbox, we are 1 update ahead, so they have different costumes than we do. So whenever they get our update, they'll have more costumes. What is this? Hello, little girl. What are you doing up here? I didn't know that weapon was at level 100. Thought it was 103. Why are you hitting me? Don't hit me. Why are you attacking? Don't attack me. Nice weapons, bro. They look sick. Don't attack me. Demon Emily says, hey, I'm gonna say hi. Alright, so, you know, that's what I do for Miyamoto and stuff. So I'm gonna get on out of this video, and we're gonna see if I can do another quick video topic. So, thanks guys for watching. I hope this helps people who had problems with Miyamoto and had concerns and stuff. I hope this was good, and I hope you guys learned anything. If you guys have any questions or build suggestions, please post them in the comments as usual. So, peace out.